I'm Reese Stein at your leisure on rainy Antelope Island, where about 50 horsemen are about to start out on the ride of a lifetime.
Antelope Island was created with horses in mind.
Antelope Island is one of my favorite places ever. You don't get to ride very many places and ride alongside buffalo and have a fit, healthy horse underneath you and covering a lot of distance. So it's just a lot of fun.
Just back from Iraq, National Guard Special Forces Officer Jeff Stewart leads the pack out of the Gar Ranch on a daunting 50-mile race that will cover much of Antelope Island State Park. Threatening weather clears, but the temperature stays cool.
Today's a perfect day, you know, it's mid-50 degrees, slight breeze, it's great for the horses.
The annual Antelope Island Endurance Horse Ride includes a 25-mile course and, for the real hardy, a 2-day 100-mile challenge. After the state legislature purchased the entire island in the early 80s, an endurance horse ride was the first public event ever staged on the south end. The ride has been held every year since 1995, and until he retired last year, Dean Jackson was its director.
It's an early race, and a lot of people have been working with their horses at a good spot. It's not a difficult race, so they're able to get out early and get their horses in condition.
Before the ride begins, each horse must be inspected by a vet.
We vet the horses the night before and this morning, and then they are vetted at the halfway point to see if they can continue. They check pulse rate and digestion and water rate and so on.
Anybody checking on the riders, see if they're okay?
No, they don't care about the riders. They're probably insured.
Local critters scurry out of the way as the riders cross the ranch road. They must follow the dirt trail which parallels the road along the eastern shore before rounding the northern tip to White Rock Bay Trailhead. The 50-milers then must do the White Rock and Split Rock loops. They must share the trail with mountain bikers and hikers, and an occasional bison also taking advantage of the perfect early spring weather.
It's a pretty benign race. It's not too difficult, but it's always a good training ride to start the season out.
It's a mommy-daughter date for Mindy Black, who rides alongside 13-year-old Whitney atop her half-Arab, half-saddlebred former show horse, Apache.
It is so fun. It's a blast, and my legs get really tired, but you know, when you finish the race, it's totally worth it. The lake is really pretty, and it's just so fun. It's so beautiful.
In fact, the bugs aren't out this early in the year, and while Utah's mountain trails are still snowed in, Antelope Island's trails are doable year-round.
It's a very safe area and very few rocks. And in fact, they can almost do the whole ride without shoes.
Along the trail, the horses aren't the main concern. Water is provided at a mandatory midpoint vet check where their pulse rate must be down to 60 beats per minute.
What's the number?
23.
23 is down.
Their pulse rate is down, then they can continue. Otherwise, they stay until their pulse rate is down. If they're not down in half an hour, then they're pulled here.
At the turnaround at White Rock Bay Trailhead, the horses are thoroughly checked and given a mandatory rest period. But again, nobody's checking on the riders.
How are you holding up? Not as good as the horse.
Well, you know how it is. They care about the animals. People aren't as important.
These are well cared for, healthy-looking animals. The horses, anyway. Especially impressive is this leopard-spotted Appaloosa its owner uses to breed paint mules, but is also impressive on the trail.
She's a competitor. I can't believe how much edge she's got. She just wants to, all she wants to do is catch whatever horse is in front of her, and then she wants to pass them.
For most, it's less a race than an excuse for an early spring outing through spectacular country.
The temperature's right, the good company, and it's a beautiful place to ride. We had a buffalo come right in front of us, going over to get a drink, and you don't get to do that very often, to ride with the buffalo and antelope, and it's just a fun place to ride.
Reese Stein at your leisure on Antelope Island.